Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
I'm Amira.
Hey, Amira, how are you today?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited about this lesson that you have for us today.
Yes, it's actually a very, very useful lesson. It's about someone asking his boss for an assistant.
Oh, okay, an assistant. What's an
Yes.
assistant?
Well, it's someone who helps you with your work around the office.
Okay, great. So let's listen to this dialogue, and when we come back, we'll take a look at all the interesting and useful vocabulary that you'll find.
Like I told you before, we just don't have the resources to hire you an assistant.
I understand that, but the fact is, we're understaffed.
The timing is just not right. The economy's bad, and it's too risky to take on new staff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Here's an idea. What if we hire an intern? She would take some of the weight off my shoulders.
She?
Yeah, you know, a recent graduate. She could give me a hand with some of these projects, and we could keep our costs down.
That sounds reasonable. Let me see what I can do. Tony, I'd like to introduce you to your new assistant.
Okay, great. Let's meet her.
Hi, I'm Adam.
Oh, hi, I'm Tony.
And we're back. Tony. He's surprised, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why, though, he's surprised. I think we should talk about that a little bit later.
Yes, for now, let's look at some interesting vocabulary and phrases here. Marco, I know you've chosen one for us.
Yeah, the first one that I want to take a look at is resources.
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 And that means, in this text, basically money.
Right.
So the office doesn't have enough money.
Okay. I've chosen another interesting word for you, and that's understaffed.
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 Now, understaffed means that they don't have enough people working there.
They don't have enough workers.
Right. They don't have enough employees.
Perfect. Okay. The next one is timing is just not right.
The timing is just not right.
The timing is just not right.
The timing is just not right.
Okay, let's listen to how we can use this entire phrase in a different situation so then we can understand what it means. Let's listen.
I was going to sell my house, but the timing is just not right. Honey, I think we should have a baby.
The timing is just not right.
Okay, great. I guess that makes it clear.
Yes, actually, it's very obvious that it means that it's just not a good time.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah. I have another interesting phrase for you, which is weight off my shoulders.
Weight off my shoulders.
Weight off my shoulders.
Weight off my shoulders.
So, to take weight off my shoulders is another way of saying to help me with my work or to take some of my work away from me.
If you have a lot of things to do and I come and help you, that means that I took some of the weight off your shoulders.
Yes.
Let's look at the next phrase that we have here, and it's give me a hand.
Give me a hand.
Give me a hand.
Give me a hand.
Okay, now this is not literal. It's not that I'm going to give you somebody's hand, right? Let's listen to some examples, and then we can come back and explain what it means.
Can you give me a hand with these boxes?
Neil, I'll need you to give me a hand with the sales reports.
Here, let me give you a hand with your suitcase.
All right. Give me a hand is another way of saying help or to help out.
Exactly, to help out.
Right.
Perfect.
Now, the last phrase we're going to look at here in this dialogue is keep our costs down.
Keep our costs down.
Keep our costs down.
Keep our costs down.
So to keep our costs down means to try and not spend so much money.
Exactly. Many companies, for example, now control how much printing you do,
Yes.
right? To keep
yes.
the cost down of paper.
Yeah, so in other words, they do not want to have unnecessary spending.
Perfect. Okay, I think it's time for us to listen to this dialogue one more time. But I want everyone to listen and see why Tony is surprised at the end when he meets his intern, when he meets his assistant.
Like I told you before, we just don't have the resources to hire you an assistant.
I understand that, but the fact is, we're understaffed.
The timing is just not right. The economy's bad, and it's too risky to take on new staff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Here's an idea. What if we hire an intern? She would take some of the weight off my shoulders.
She?
Yeah, you know, a recent graduate. She could give me a hand with some of these projects, and we could keep our costs down.
That sounds reasonable. Let me see what I can do. Tony, I'd like to introduce you to your new assistant.
Okay, great. Let's meet her.
Hi, I'm Adam.
Oh, hi, I'm Tony.
Well, you know, Marco, I think that Tony was really surprised because he was kind of hoping to have a female intern.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he was expecting. Maybe this guy is a little bit sexist. He thought that an intern should be a girl. But instead, he
got Adam.
Exactly, and it looks like Adam is really big and really tall because he's got that deep voice.
Right. An intern, Marco, do you want to elaborate on that?
Working at a company with a very low salary or sometimes no salary at all, but what you're gaining is experience and you're learning a lot of things. Everyone who has been an intern or had an intern knows that sometimes they are not treated all that well. Sometimes they just serve coffee or they have to do paperwork.
Or like photocopying things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But some internships are really, really cool and some are really good experiences for learning.
Yes, definitely. Actually, I know a friend of mine. She used to work as an intern in one of those really big companies, and she told me that she has gained so much experience doing that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get paid, the experience that you get is really good. And that just opens doors for maybe getting another job. Or sometimes the interns get hired by the company to stay because they do such a good job.
Yeah, I think that's mostly the case, huh?
Yeah, that happened to me once. I started working as an intern, and after 3 months, I was hired by the company. So it does happen, believe me.
So you did a good job.
Yeah, of course. All right, folks, we're out of time today. I hope that you enjoyed our lesson, and we'll be back tomorrow with another really cool and really interesting lesson from English Pod.
Yes, you should definitely do that. And Marco and I would love to receive your comments and suggestions that you can leave on our community forum. But for now, it's time for us to say bye.
Thank you, Marco and Amira. Let's take a closer look at the key words and phrases from today's podcast. I think you'll find them super useful, especially if you're thinking about work, office life, or asking for help in different situations. First, we have resources. In the context of the podcast, this refers to money. It's often used in business settings to talk about the financial resources available to a company or project. When someone says, "We don't have enough resources," it usually means there's not enough money to cover what's needed. It could be resources for hiring staff, buying equipment, or even paying for services. In business, managing your resources wisely is crucial for keeping things running smoothly. Next, we have understaffed. This is an important word to know, especially in workplaces where you might feel like there are too many tasks and not enough people. If a company is understaffed, it means they don't have enough employees to do the work that's required. For example, if there are fewer people than necessary to handle customer service, the company is understaffed. And this is why sometimes people need to ask for assistance or additional help. Being understaffed often leads to stress and overwork, which can hurt productivity and morale. The phrase, "the timing is just not right," is another one we talked about. This is a great way to say that the situation isn't ideal for something to happen. If you're considering making a big decision, like starting a new project or buying something expensive, but you feel it's not the right time for it, you could say, "the timing just isn't right." It's all about knowing when to wait and when to act. For example, you might want to ask for a raise, but if the company is in financial trouble, you might say, "the timing is just not right." It's about recognizing when it's better to wait for things to improve. Let's move on to "a weight off my shoulders." This is a very relatable phrase. It means to feel relieved after someone helps you with a burden or a difficult task. Imagine you're overloaded with work and you're struggling to keep up, but then a colleague steps in to assist you. When that happens, it feels like a weight has been taken off your shoulders. This phrase is great for describing how helpful it is when others assist you or when someone takes responsibility for a stressful task you've been handling. It's like a moment of relief when you no longer have to carry that load alone. Next, "give me a hand" is another common phrase that you'll hear in both casual and formal contexts. It's a way of asking for help. For instance, you might say, "can you give me a hand with these boxes?" Or, "could you give me a hand with the report I'm working on?" It's informal, so you can use it with friends, family, or coworkers. The beauty of this phrase is that it's simple and straightforward, making it easy to ask for help without feeling like you're being too formal or serious. Finally, we have "keep our costs down." This is a phrase that businesses often use when they want to reduce spending or avoid unnecessary expenses. For example, a company might try to cut back on printing costs or limit the amount of travel employees can do to keep expenses low. Keeping costs down is a major goal for businesses to maintain profitability, especially when times are tough or budgets are tight. In your personal life, you could also use this phrase when trying to save money or be more careful with spending. So, as you can see, these words and phrases are all about managing work, dealing with responsibilities, and understanding the right time for certain actions. Each one has a practical use in everyday life, especially in the workplace. I hope you find these expressions as useful as I do. Remember, if you ever find yourself needing an assistant, these are great ways to talk about what's going on in your office. Well, that wraps up today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning all about the key phrases and vocabulary related to asking for an assistant. If you found this video helpful and you're enjoying the content, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you want to keep improving your English with fun lessons like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This way, you'll never miss any of our future videos. Trust me, we've got a lot of exciting lessons coming your way. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.